It's like a Buddhist temple. I'm a young boy, and just sort of walking around carrying 2 pails of water on my back with a stick.
And what do you sense you're doing?
Just see a big community. It feels like it's almost like it's a community outside of the Buddhist temple, and I'm there with other children, and I can see my mom and dad. It's weird. It's like it's connected to the temple, but not exactly. I get the feeling that we provide the food for the people in that temple and for ourselves, and it's like there's an agreement that they provide us with spiritual teachings, and if we ever need protection, they're there to protect us, and in turn we help farm for them.
Very good. And as you look down, can you tell me what you are wearing?
It's just very basic, kind of what you would see people in the country in Asia and China wearing. I'm not sure how to describe them. It's just very, yeah, it's very basic attire. There's no shoes. Yeah, it's just very basic clothing.
And you say you are young. What age would you sense you are?
12.
12. Very good. And you say you have a family. What do you sense about your family?
I get the feeling that it's like I want to become a part of the temple, and for some reason they feel like they're not allowing me to. I'm not sure if I'm just not old enough, or it's just this sense of admiration for the people in the temple, but they want me to stay and help with the farming, I guess. Yeah.
Let's move ahead and have a conversation with your parents and ask them why it is they do not want you to be a part of it in the way you would like.
They just say they don't understand. They just can't understand why I see it the way that I do. It's like they're like rock stars to me, but to my parents, it's just a temple. Everybody in this place is equal. Everybody provides for each other, and so they just can't understand why I'm looking at these people in this temple with so much esteem.
Very good.
Yeah, it's just they just want me to sort of take over, have children, and keep continuing the farming work. This feels like this is what my family has done for many generations. So yeah.
Yes. Very good. Let's move ahead in this scene. Tell me what else Tell me what else you see or experience.
Feels very tense, like yeah, it feels like I'm older now, and I'm still doing the farming work, but it's like I'm almost old enough to make my own decision. But there's a lot of tension in the community. Like feels like we're about to be invaded by somebody.
Oh, good. Tell me more about this tension. What more are you sensing and feeling in this community and being invaded?
They're just not really sure how to. It feels like there's a massive army. It's like this place has been there for a really long time. This temple is really old, and it's located in a place that's fairly difficult to get to and to invade. And I'm frustrated because I'm almost old enough to join the temple, and so there's a lot of inner conflict within myself, and there's a lot of tension. I can see the adults, they're meeting amongst themselves, and I'm trying to sneak in on their conversations, and I'm feeling that I really want to go and just leave and go join this temple and learn how to defend myself. It feels like that's more important right now, is helping to defend the community, but it's like it takes a really long time to learn their ways, and I have a girlfriend at this part of my life, and yeah, there's just a lot of inner conflict within myself. I don't know what I want to do. Um,
Very good. Now let's move to the next scene in this lifetime of significance. Be there now. Tell me what you're seeing, feeling, or experiencing.
yeah, it's like I have a baby with this woman, and we're hiding. We're trying to figure out if we want to try to send the baby like down the river. We're scared. We don't know what to do. I get the sense that this place has been breached, and because of its location, there's really nowhere for us to go. It's in a very remote place.
Tell me more. Tell me what you do next.
I try to buy them some more time by trying to make a big distraction. I can see some of these people that have invaded our land, and I've got a torch, and I'm trying to bring as much attention towards me as I can so they can try to escape.
And what happens next?
The army seizes me, and they they cut the throats of the people generally, and then they impale them and put them on sticks. And so I get a sense that that's probably what they're going to do to me. I just see bodies everywhere.
Describe this army. Tell me what this army looks like.
Yeah, I get a sense that maybe they are like Mongolian.
Yes.
Very very primitive, very brutal. Yeah, it's very savage people.
And do you get a sense of why they are doing this or where they come from?
I get a sense that they are from Mongolia. Feels like it might even be like Genghis Khan's
Very
time
good.
frame.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why are they there? What are they doing? What do they want?
They're trying to suppress all the ancient wisdom and knowledge. This temple had many scrolls, and yeah, it feels like they're going around to all the temples and stealing the knowledge, and then they're burning the temples when they leave.
And what do you feel as you and sense as you see what's happening around you? What are you feeling?
I feel a very, very dark, like demonic force that's with these people. It's yeah, it's almost like I can see all the demonic spirits, and they're everywhere. They're with this group of people, and yeah, it's like they practice, blood sacrifice rituals and things like that. It's a little bit different than what we see today, but that's the sense that I get. It's I get the sense that they are just a very bloodthirsty people. Like they drink the blood of their own horses when they're riding. And there's a lot of cannibalism that goes on.
And if you could sense a year, what year would you say this was?
Keep seeing the number 9 in my head.
Right.
I don't know if
9th
that's
century?
900 or
900? Yes.
yeah, maybe.
Yes. And what country do you sense you are in?
It's weird, it almost feels like Tibet, but it doesn't. In the beginning it seemed more like farmland, but now this feels more like we're higher up in the mountains, so I'm not sure.
Very good. And as you are looking around, seeing what these people are doing to your place where your people live, and you wanting to defend where you live and your homeland, what light and what power is within you guiding you? What protections do you feel within yourself and around yourself?
This place is, it's like it's hard to explain. This place has a very special frequency, and so
Yes.
the people that live there embody that, and so yeah, I just feel like it's a very strong people that live there, very just very kind and loving, and this is a completely different energy that is there now. It's like I get the sense that they get a lot more energy when they are consuming people that are filled with more light.
Oh, very good. Yes. So they're taking the light because it's lacking in them. They feed off of it.
Yes. Yes, it's like they, you could call it making a deal, like a blood deal with demonic entities, and when they do this, they cut themselves off from the Creator, and yeah, this is what keeps them going.
Tell me
But it
more about
begins to
that.
drive them,
Yes.
yeah, it begins to drive them crazy. You can see um, how humans aren't meant to do this kind of thing. Yes, they just act very, very, very crazy. It's there's lots of I almost get the sense too that there's some sort of shape shifting going on too. Like they know how to shape shift. A lot of them are wearing like animal skins on their heads, and I get the sense that they can turn into that animal as well.
And how do they do this?
It's through ritual. It has to do with the blood of the animal, and it's like I see them around this fire. They have some sort of black powder, and I can't tell what that black powder is, but I see them sprinkling it into the fire, and I see these images coming through. It's like, I don't know, somehow they're using the elements to do this. I almost get the sense that this powder is some sort of, maybe some sort of ashes from a human, or maybe it could be some of the remains from. Yeah, I get it. I get the sense that it's the heart. It's like they take the heart and they burn it, and then they turn it into ash, and then somehow they use this ash. It's really strange.
They're using it to shapeshift.
Yeah, you can see it rubbing it on their faces, and
When they shapeshift, do they physically change or energetically change, or is it both?
I just heard the word both in my head, so I'm
Both.
assuming it's both.
Yes. And what is the purpose for shapeshifting for them?
They use it to spy. They use it to move more swiftly between places. It's almost like they use it as a means of communication between their. It's like they have this massive army, and I get a sense that they like strategically keep themselves spread out so they don't have the entire army all together at once, and they shapeshift, and then they're able to go off quickly and more unnoticed than they would be, for example, on a horse. A horse would be much more visible. I'm trying to get a sense, though, of why that would be an issue, because it feels like it's such a big army that they wouldn't have anything to fear. Yeah, it just feels like it's something it's like they like doing it. So they do travel this way sometimes. It's almost like it's like it's a power hungry. They like having that power and just being able to do that.
Yes. Yes. And what animals are they shapeshifting into?
I keep seeing like some sort of canine.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it's hard to see because they do this at night, and so I can only see like the outline of it.
Yes. Yes. And then they travel as these canines, so they can move swiftly and without much notice.
Yeah, and it feels like they just like doing it. Yeah, and I feel like they do it for spying, for sure.
And what are they spying on?
I get a sense that they're spying on each other.
Oh, very good. Interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like yeah, it's very weird. It's like they're united as an army, but um, a lot of it wasn't. It was by force. So they go and they take over new places, and so when they take over a bigger civilization, you have people within that civilization that don't necessarily want to be a part of this army. So yeah, it's like what's the word? It's like yeah, it's like they're informants against each other, but it's all within their own army. Yeah, it's
Yes. So what happens with this town when they take it over and they destroy sacred information? What happens?
I don't get a sense that they destroy it. I saw this like vision of like some larger carriages, and that they were like piling in some of these scrolls and some of these
Very good.
artifacts. Yeah.
So they're keeping them, they're not destroying them.
Yes.
Yes. And where do these scrolls, where do they go? Where do they end up?
They end up back. I don't know where this place is. It feels like they go to the closest camp, but they don't stay there. They eventually get transported back to wherever the origin is of these people.
Yes.
Like I said, I keep hearing Mongolia in my
Mongolia,
head.
yes. So does it, you sense that these scrolls end up in Mongolia somewhere?
Get a sense that they did, but then I get a sense that they have since been moved somewhere else.
Yes.
So
Very good. And what is contained in these scrolls? What is the sacred information that they want to hide and keep to themselves?
there's a lot of really good information. I get the sense that they're using it for fighting purposes. Like there's a lot of diagrams and charts of the body, and it's like these people had a very good understanding of how the body works. So there's medical information. There's a lot of information about the soul, and I get the sense. I don't know. It's weird. It's like I can see them burning some of these, and some of these, it's almost like they don't burn them. They have a really interesting energy, and these temples do, and it's almost like some of them somehow they are able to like hack into that energy and then siphon off of it somehow. I don't know how they do this. And then there's other ones that they couldn't hijack the energy, so those are the ones that they would just destroy.
Mm-hmm. And is this knowledge? Yes, go ahead.
I was just gonna. It almost feels like they're close to portals or something. A lot of these temples, there's something special about the location of them.
Yes. Tell me more about that.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just saw like almost like I don't know if you would call it an alien, but like a being coming from another dimension. I just saw like a flash of a being coming from another dimension through this portal in this tent that's located in this temple.
What kind of being is it? Is it a light being? Is it a dark being?
Yeah, this was a light being,
being.
But then I was shown a dark being. So
a dark being used the portal.
Yes, it looks like it was light beings that were used, that were coming through, and then I was shown that it turned into dark beings coming through this portal.
Yes.
So I'm not sure.
So you could say it was hijacked by the dark beings.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yes. And how many temples do you sense these portals are in your land?
Not sure about my land, but when you asked, I just heard hundreds. So
hundreds, yes. In the temples, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. in many temples throughout the world. Portals.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Pyramids, all that.
Yes.
Yes. And are these portals known to many today?
Get a sense that they don't, a lot of them don't, like not that many of them get used today, not quite like they used to. I feel like they've almost destroyed. Some of them have been shut down or destroyed, and I'm not sure who did that or how that happened. But there are still portals that are being used.
And do you sense they're used by the light or dark energies?
Get the sense that they're being used by both, but it feels like
Yes.
it doesn't feel like they are. It feels like any of the portals that would have connected to other dimensions or planets have been. It's like that part of them. Those have been shut down, and there's only some left that will take you from one place here on Earth to another.
Mm.
It's like I just saw a vision like where you can literally walk if you know where to go. As soon as you walk in, you'll be on the other side of the Earth. I don't know. I just heard Hawaii and Antarctica, so I'm
Ah,
guessing. I think
yes.
there's one there somewhere. Yeah,
So the portals are connecting to another location on the earth.
that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yes. And is the same portal being used by dark and light, or are there different portals being used by light and some being used by just dark?
I get the sense that the light has been sort of patiently waiting around these portals,
Yes.
and when the dark ones use them, they've had many operations where they've tried to surprise them, and so yes, it's you could say it's being used by both, but I get the feeling that it's mainly the dark ones we're using them. I don't I get the sense that the something with the good guys, like you don't um, there's something about them because they've been turned so dark, like they don't I get the sense that they don't particularly like going in them, although it feels like it's getting better, the energy's getting better, so maybe they are at this point, but there was definitely a period where I feel like it was just mainly dark.
Dark, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And do you sense that shifting where these portals will be discovered and used for light in the future? And no longer
Yes.
the dark will be able to access them.
Yes. Definitely. I can just see like the light, and it's just showing how the dark it'll eventually become so light here on this planet that darkness just won't be able to even really exist here. I get the sense that duality. It's interesting. It almost feels like duality won't exist, or it definitely won't be. It won't be the same. There will still be darkness. Um, and I feel like the dark ones will have to almost sort of stay to themselves, and all privileges will be taken away. So everybody still will still have free will if they want to engage in bad activities. They won't have any resources available to them. So
Yes.
yeah, it'll just be a natural. They'll just naturally want to choose the more positive aspects
Yes.
of life.
And these beings that will no longer have access to the light and to the portals, I should say. Where do they live? Will they live on Earth or in inner Earth? Where will these beings go? Where are they residing?
Do you mean currently or in the future?
In the future.
Because Earth is so vast, I get the sense that inner Earth, um, it's weird. I get the sense that inner Earth will actually be too, like too high of a
Beautiful.
vibration for them.
Yes.
So I don't think that's going to be an option. Yeah, and they just show me like the ocean and how there's underground or underwater civilizations, and they won't be permitted to stay there either. So, really not sure where they're going to. Feel like they'll still have some little places hidden away, but it really feels like you just won't want to be dark here. It would feel so
Out of
like you would
place.
really feel it. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Very good. So as we go back to the life of this young man, and you sense that the end of his life is coming soon, let's go to the last scene. The last day of the life. And tell me what you see.
Yeah, mm, it's pretty terrible. They cut open his stomach and you see them pulling out the organs, and they've got this device that has these spikes on it, and they're basically pulling his intestines out, and it's just they're going to use it to cook over a fire, and they do this while the people are alive and being shown, so they basically are eating him while he's still alive. And then eventually they pass out because of the pain, and then they cut the throat and save the blood.
So let's have you go ahead and leave that body, float up and out of that body, leave that body behind and that life behind. And tell me where your spirit goes.
Just saw a blue being, trying to tell. It almost feels like a galactic family member was there waiting for me when I came out of that body, because that's immediately what I saw was
Yes.
this blue being with these big eyes. It's asking me if I want to take a little bit of a break or if I would like to go back in.
And what do you
And
say? Yes.
thinking about it.
Do you feel you have healing to do from that life you just left? That healing needs to take place.
You mean in this current life?
In
Healing from that life?
when you left tragically from that life.
Yes,
Is there healing that needed to take place to that soul? Your soul at that time?
well, what I was just shown was how I've been getting these just really bad stomach pains, and so I get a sense that it has to do with the way I died in that life. So
Yes.
I couldn't figure out what was causing it, but I get a sense that I'm still holding on to that somehow energetically. So yeah, I get the sense that I came back too quick. Um, and I didn't. That's interesting. Yeah, so I'm going back to that place right now when I came out of the body, and instead of coming straight back, I'm going to it's like a healing chamber is what I see.
Yes.
And it's weird. It's like I can see that whole experience, and then I'm seeing it rewind in my head, like they're sort of erasing
Beautiful.
that.
So they're doing the healing work on you
Mm-hmm.
that you needed at that time in the
Yes.
healing chamber. Beautiful. Describe
It's
this
weird because
healing chamber. Yes.
I was just gonna say I can feel it in my stomach right now. It's really interesting.
Beautiful.
Um, I don't get a very vivid picture of it. It's just like I get that it's also blue, but it's like a dark blue, and it feels like it's definitely using some sort of crystal technology.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like crystal, and I get a sense that it's somehow solar because I just heard solar
Mm-hmm.
in my head. So it's using the combination of crystals and solar energy, and it feels like somehow I feel like in this place, when we're born, um, it's like we grow our own crystals from our own consciousness, and then
Mm.
when you go into the chamber, it's got a slot, and you just slide in, your own personal crystal, and it holds like your original blueprint. Um, yeah, and it's showing me like the blueprint of the soul when it was originally created, is what it's saying. It's so
Oh,
interesting.
yes.
So
Beautiful.
before all of the travels to different places and dying and going through all those traumas, there's a very pure and unadulterated crystal that everybody has to be used.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Does this technology come from source, or is this technology on another planet? Where are you accessing this technology?
That's really strange. I feel like like it's in the void somewhere. Like I can't really see. I can't see anything else really around me. It's yeah, I would think it would be like on a spaceship or something, but I don't see anything like that. It's like it's just floating in black space somewhere.
Yes. So tell me more about this healing that's taking place. What else do you sense or see or feel? Do you need more healing to any other parts of your body after this lifetime?
I feel like that was the main one, because other than having some stomach pains and things like that, I really don't have anything wrong with me. So
Yes. And you say in that life you had a wife and a child?
I know we had a child together.
Yes.
Not sure if we were married, but yeah.
Yes. You had a partner, a child. And was there any heartache related to that? Being separated and losing that relationship?
I get a sense that there was, but it wasn't very profound because it all happened
Okay.
so quickly. Yeah, there
Very good.
was separation, and then I was pretty much immediately killed. So
Yes. Yes. So this crystal that contains your original blueprint, is this something you can access again anytime you'd like to during meditation?
yeah, so I did a meditation like 4 months ago, and she had us activate our Merkabas, and then she took us to the Crystal Palace, like way, way, way up in the sky, and basically you turned yourself into a crystal. I don't remember exactly how she did it, but it was really profound. And she said, just remember this place, it's in the Crystal Palace. And so this is all connecting right now for me.
Yes. Beautiful.
So yes, it is accessible. Yeah, just getting the sense that I don't remember the entire process of this meditation. It was about an hour long, but just hearing that I should try to practice what I can remember of that meditation, and that will be sufficient to go back and connect with this crystal that's there.
Yes. Yes. What else do you sense you can learn or get from this crystal that you're needing in this life at this time? Any other traits or abilities or parts of yourself that you would like to incorporate into this lifetime that you can gain from this crystal?
Yeah, I get a sense that it's very powerful, and so these bodies are here in a very dense reality, and because we've been so poisoned and just been attacked on so many levels, um, that the body's only able to integrate so much at a time.
Yes.
I get a feeling that maybe just trying to go back just once a week, and just see what happens. Go back to this place and see if there's any upgrades that are available from this crystal.
Yes. Very good. And are there any healing frequencies you can take from that crystal palace or the crystal and use in this life?
Yeah, I get a sense that that's, I don't know, I've just shown a picture of like the crystals that I have and then the tuning forks. So it's almost like, I don't know, it kind of feels like we have, we have that ability right here, and it's just showing me too how when we play those frequencies in these sessions that it's extremely powerful and that we're able to integrate it more fully because sometimes we are so much into our own head, and so when we're relaxed like this, so just showing me how it's very beneficial. I get the sense of like just showed me how if you put each crystal, each color over each chakra, and then you play uh, the tuning forks, that's almost like the best thing that we have that we can do right now, or at least something that I have here with me physically that I can
Yes.
practice.
Very beautiful. Yes.
And just saying, just ask your crystals to connect with that crystal because they're all connected, I guess.
Oh, yes.
So,
wow.
yeah.
So we could ask any of our crystals to connect to our original blueprint crystal.
Yes.
Just by having the awareness and the intention.
Yes, I feel like, it is a little bit of, I get a feeling it depends on the person. Some people might have to work at this a little bit more than others. But yes, having the awareness, and if we could figure out, this is hard to explain, how to, yes, we need to visualize ourselves as that crystal because that connects us to it. So we have to have, like you said, the awareness that this does exist. Yeah, basically, it's just saying don't rush it, and you may have to repeat this process a few times. Obviously, making sure that the crystals are really cleaned, and make sure that we sage and practice really good spiritual hygiene before we do this.
And if we don't, what would happen? We just wouldn't be able to connect, or would dark energies try to enter?
It feels like it would just take more time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So describe your crystal. Did you say it was blue?
Yes.
Yes. Does that blue color represent anything for you?
Well, the being that I saw as soon as I came out of my body in that life was blue, so
Yes.
I get a sense that there's some connection there.
Yes. And tune in. Tell me, with all your knowing, who is that? Would you say that blue being is?
I feel like it's an aspect of myself.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's either an aspect of myself or it's it almost feels like the word that I heard was brother, so I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like a fractal of myself or
Hmm. Yes.
I get the sense that it's like I go on these missions back to Earth, and that being has sort of been there and waits on me every time when I come
Mm-hmm.
back. Um, yeah,
Would you say you have other fractals of yourself assisting your other lifetimes, or is this the fractal that assists all of your Earth lifetimes?
mm, get a feeling that this is facilitates all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
And so as you leave the different lifetimes, you reintegrate back to this, or you come to the new lifetime.
so I feel like I come back to this place, every time,
Yes.
and it's like you instantly know. It's hard to explain. You instantly know what you did in that life and what the lessons were, and basically, if you completed everything that you you set off to
Mm-hmm.
complete, and if there's anything that maybe didn't get settled in that life, you know that as well. But it's like it's really fast. I
Yes.
feel like uh, the main feeling I get is they're just concerned because you're coming out of such a traumatized state. Um, yeah, it's weird. It's like when you go, as soon as you leave and you go back there, you know everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really have to explain anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really wild.
Yes. So if you look back on the life that we just witnessed, um, what do you say you were meant to do in that lifetime? And did you fulfill everything you planned to do in that lifetime?
I get a sense that I should have been more adamant about joining the monks in their practice. So I get a sense that I should have, even though I was a kid, if I would have stood up for myself a little bit more, um, because I feel like I had a sense that that's what I should have done, and but then I also see how I get the feeling that I was able to either buy them quite a bit of time or possibly even saved their lives, and so
Yes. So if you would have joined this group of people that you wanted to, how would that have changed that lifetime? Or would it have changed it much, the outcome?
mm, just get the sense that I would have been happier,
Yes. Yes.
possibly. But it's just showing me that I died fighting either way. So
Yes.
that's a positive uh, look at it. So And it's really interesting because I've always been really fascinated with like martial arts and just the like the Buddhist temple, the societies, and it's something I've wanted to do even in this lifetime. So it's really interesting that I feel like I had some unfinished business or something that since I didn't get to do in that life, I wish I could have done in this life, but maybe next time.
Yes. Very good. Is there anything else from that lifetime or this crystal cave or anything else that we need to see at this time? Or know or understand?
Yeah, I'm just hearing it's important for us to understand how a lot of the things that we do experience in this life, some of the physical pains, or there's just a lot that's connected to past lives. Yeah, so it's really important to spend a good amount of time, like we've done today, looking deeply at these past lives, because it's like if we have the awareness of how we died, or if we had something else really traumatic happen in that lifetime, just by being aware of it will help us fix however it's affecting us today.
Yes. Yes, very much.
Yeah.
Very good. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. We're going to leave that part of ourselves from that lifetime in that light to continue on in their journey. We're going to leave that lifetime now that we found what we needed. And to ask for the consciousness of this one in the bed to reintegrate back into the body, and ask if we can speak to this one's higher self. Maybe speak with this one's higher self today.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe ask a few questions at this time.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. We would like to know, are there any new practices that Brad can incorporate into his life at this time that will assist him in his journey?
He needs to just focus on this healing modality for the moment, and as he has mentioned, taking a BQH class would be beneficial. You may find it overwhelming to do too many things at once because there's a lot happening with the human bodies right now. There's a lot of energies that are coming in, and it's important to not over exert yourselves. And so we will let him know when it is time for him to do something else, just like how we showed this to him. He will know it within his soul when it is time for something else to begin. a new healing modality.
Beautiful. Yes. And as far as making new music, he had the desire to make new music, a new frequency of healing in music. What can you tell him about this?
It's important to keep playing live instruments like he's doing, but he also needs to start spending more time on the computer, even though he really doesn't like these devices very much anymore. Now that he's seen all of the different entities that are coming through, but he really needs to put up his protection on his devices and not worry so much about what he may be experiencing as far as entities go, because he's actually losing a lot of possibilities by not diving into these different softwares that he has.
Yes. So, what can he do to protect himself while he's using these technologies so they do not affect him negatively, and that he does not have to have concerns about that he can feel peaceful and grounded while using the technologies that he needs to?
You could ask Archangel Michael to put his net of white light over your screen, or you can simply do this yourself, or a combination of the two. You could just visualize a holographic net, if you will, over your screens, and ask for any energies that are coming through to be bounced back into the universe and transmuted. This would be the easiest thing for him to do.
Beautiful. And then he will be guided as to what music to create once he starts doing this.
Yes, he will begin to notice a shift in the music that is coming out, and it'll be a fantastic opportunity for him to be a part of something that is totally new and that is going to be used for healing. There's a lot of work to be done before this can be completely integrated and used. It's something that he doesn't need to know too much about right now, but just to be patient, and he will know when the time is right. But it's just important that he goes ahead and starts practicing on his computer, even though a lot of things will change.
Yes.
It will just help him to hone some of his music skills. And so when this shift does happen, he will already be up and running, and
Yes.
everybody's abilities are coming back online. And so you will all begin to remember things that you've known in previous lives. You may sit down one day and find that you can play the piano all of a sudden, or paint a picture that you didn't think you were able to create. So It's more about just getting your faculties used to whatever it is you like to do. If it's music, just keeping your hands strong and flexible. If it's drawing or painting, just getting the muscle memory to where it's coordinated, because the memories of all these different abilities will start to come back to you.
Yes, beautiful. And would it help for him to know how the new music he will be creating, how it will be used? Will it help him to know that, like if he'll use them in his healing sessions, how they will assist humanity? Will it help him to understand any of that at this time?
No, because things are going to change so dramatically that the consciousness that humanity is at the moment wouldn't even be able to begin to comprehend it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. He has questions about possible future relationship, romance. What can you tell him about that? Is there anything he needs to be made aware of or to focus on relating to this area of his life?
Just to focus on his son and his work for now. And we would like to say that when this shift does happen, it's happening very slowly and gradually, but there will come a point where it will climax, and we would suggest that he wait until after this climax and the energies take place, because everybody's changing so quickly. We know that most of you are noticing this and experiencing this. And so to be with somebody while there's so much growth and change happening, you may end up slowing yourselves down.
Mm.
So we would suggest to wait until the majority of the growth has already happened.
Yes.
And then you can grow together in the proper way.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes. Yes. The journey right now is much of a solo journey, I feel.
Yes.
And when the time is right, that people will come into our lives that need to. Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, he has a question about finances and if there's any blocks around that from past lives, future lives, any blocks related to finances that he can be made aware of at this time.
He has, in some ways, programmed his subconscious mind to see money as something negative. This comes from a long drawn out divorce, and there were many issues financially. So there are traumas that are associated with money as well. We would just recommend to do affirmations regarding finances. And what you will notice is if you have a block about something and you bring it up, you do a specific affirmation workshop for that. It will be fairly hard to affirm these things initially, so you can always check how you are about different aspects of your lives by doing these videos. If you find that you can very easily do a financial affirmation with no issues, then that would be a very good sign that your relationship with finances is okay. And this can go for relationships, really just anything that you want to look at and see if you need to work on yourself about.
Yes. So was it just shifting the mindset to release these blocks regarding finance and relationship?
Yes, and he is of the belief that money will not exist in the fairly near future, and so we would just encourage him to be present in the now and to see money as something that is necessary in your world at the moment, and that you can actually use money to finance your journey and you can use it to help others. So this is just a reminder to him at this moment.
Yes. And are there any blocks relating romance or finances that come from any past lives that we can be made aware of as well today?
There have been many past lives where he was in poverty, so there is an element of that still hanging around, but this isn't an extremely troubling issue for him. He would say that he may have some bigger blocks regarding relationships than he does finances, and that this will all work itself out when these shifts happen.
Very good.
And yes, just know that what he is doing at the moment is perfectly fine. That's all.
Beautiful. Okay. We have a question about his father who passed in 2018, who was an inspiration to him. Is there anything you could tell him about that and the transition and evolution he has made since his father's passing?
Yes. He's had the feeling recently that his dad was a little bit different than most people. He asked very interesting questions about life and spirituality that most people would not be able to ask, and we want him to know that his dad was a being, a starseed, I guess you would call it. He was one of the first waves of volunteers to come here, and that he has been in subtle communication right before and ever since his passing.
Beautiful. And is there any message his father would like to give him at this time?
his father is very proud of him for doing the work that he's doing, and he knows this, he's had this feeling. But just to know that he's perfectly on track and exactly where he's supposed to be.
Beautiful. Is there anything you could tell him today about his son and raising his son, and any guidance his son might need, or how well he's doing as a father? Anything he might need to know?
He's doing an amazing job considering how difficult it has been since his separation from his wife, and we would only ask him to set a better schedule, if you would, up for his son and try to introduce a little bit more structure into his life. It is important to let your children just be children when they are young, but as they get older, and his son is at the right age for this, it is important to start getting them ready to be adults. And so we would just say to begin having that mindset a little bit more. But other than that, everything is exactly as it should be.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Are there any final messages you would like to give to Brad today? Anything at all?
He's getting better about this, but just to be very aware of that small voice inside your head. Sometimes humans can tend to listen to the big voice in their head, and in some cases this is for their highest good. If they are in some sort of danger, the higher self will be more loud, but practice your meditation every day. And although he does like guided meditation, we've been suggesting to him that he do both and that he practice meditation with some music going on in the background. They are both very helpful, but we would generally recommend maybe 5 days a week for him to just meditate without a guide, and then 1 or 2 days a week with a guide. The guided meditations can be very useful to become aware of all the different possibilities that meditation can provide, especially for healing. That is all.